for today's webinar about VMS. Of course, today's webinar is not going to be a full from bottom to top on all of the VMS because, of course, we're limited by time. So we're going to show you only the interesting parts, only the more attractive parts of our VMS. Okay, so let me share my screen. Of course, if you have any questions, you can write them down on chat, or after this webinar, we're gonna have some time for questions. So since I'm not very familiar with your, how much you guys know the VMS itself, I'm gonna give you a short description of the VMS. The VMS is a software that will help us to manage videos and the recorders. We have two kinds of VMSs, the VMS standard and the enterprise. The enterprise is more for more project type, more projects, like big projects, over 256 channels. The VMS standard is for the average user back at home. Most of the features I'm going to show you today are available on both versions. And of course, we're going to start from the basics. The basic is how to manage cameras, how to add a camera, how to set a camera from the VMS itself. First of all, we can add a camera from an IP, okay, locally on the network. We can add a camera from P2P. We can add a camera from the DNS. Many different ways to add a camera. Also, auto report. Okay, so for a short description for something that we call area, it will help us during the webinar to understand what we actually see. So a few words about the area. Area is just something that we create. It's an area. And into that area, we can add NVRs, DVRs, cameras. We can add a whole bunch of cameras from different recorders or different recorders from different. Thank you, Ran. If you guys have trouble hearing me or something, please tell me. Okay, so the area, of course, can contain different kinds of devices. We have here a counting area. I added all of the cameras that can count. NVR Israel, it's another area for an NVR, and another area for a different kind of NVR. There is no limitation for the amount of devices you can add to an area. You can add 4, 5, 10, 100 different devices into an area, of course, as long as the VMS support it. Okay, that said, let's go to the device settings. And why do we go to the device settings? Because I want to show you that we can perform pretty much any set that we want to make on our cameras, even if it's a brightness or HUE or a WDR, or even set up analytics. We can do all of these, even if we are connected 1,000 kilometers away via P2P. So for that example, of course, for our bandwidth, I'm doing all of this locally on the LAN, okay, because we're gonna open some video channels up ahead, so we need some good bandwidth, but you can do all of those things also from remote. So I'm gonna take one of our cameras that has support for a DDA analytic. You guys probably know it already, but the ability, the camera's ability to detect different objects, familiar objects, objects like human beings, vehicles, two-wheel vehicles. So I'm going into that camera. We can see one of these cameras right now. By the way, I'm in NVR Israel, and those are the list of cameras listed on the NVR. If I press Control, you can see the mark. Going into one of those cameras, we can see all of those settings. Okay, you can do some very basic settings like image settings and stream. You can determine the resolution for the mainstream and the substream, frame rate, and all of those. And of course, we can go to the more advanced analytics, such as line crossing. Okay, we can enable line crossing. We go to sterile area. Sterile area is already enabled on this camera, so we can see all of its features. We can see the line, basically the area that is on the drawn on the camera. We can see the objects this camera is going to detect. objects like the vehicle, human, and motorcycle. We can see the sensitivity. Of course, you can set each and every one of these areas. We can even draw up to 4 areas that will work simultaneously, one to another, okay? And of course, we can change. If we want this camera to be people counting instead, then we can do that as well. Of course, we're not going to see all of the different analytics because it will take a lot of time. But yes, you can do pretty much everything from here. You have a long list of settings to do both on the camera side and on the NVR if you want. Of course, you can change parameters starting from the network to the email that is set on the NVR to the sensors that are on the NVR, pretty much everything. Of course, you can set the alarm output and input. Okay, our next subject is, of course, the live view. Live view, very simple. On the live view, we're gonna actually see the videos that our cameras, we can be able to manage our video. We can see them. We can divide the channels into 9 or 16 or 25 or whatever you want. In this case, I divide it into 9. We can see immediately the response, all of the channels on my screen live. You can divide it into 16, okay? To the left, we can see the areas that we discussed before with the counting area, the NVR Israel area, and the NVR Tech area. Of course, next to each one of them, we have a small plus, which will show us the cameras on that area, on that NVR. Okay, now if you just drag the entire area, we will see the cameras. Very simple, nothing much to say about that. What would we have on the mini menu for each camera? So first of all, you have the ability to cancel the video channel if you want. Second of all, you have the ability to manual record. We can enable audio. Let's check if that works. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you heard the echo. It's because the camera on the top, above has a microphone, so we can have a one-directional voice or a two-way talk. So you can speak and hear what's going on the camera side. Take a snapshot. Go in these cameras specific. We have another menu for fisheye. Of course, we can activate the fisheye mode on this camera. Okay, you can make it a 4-camera PTZ, for example. If I'll go full screen, you can see that you can actually, wait a sec. Okay, fisheye. Yes, you can see that you can actually move every one of the PTZ controls. Yes, you need to turn it on. Okay, now you can see we can actually move it. Okay, so this is one of the controls, the PTZ menu. Furthermore, we have is digital zoom, in, out, full screen, device talkback, which the device would be the camera itself, or the device will be the NVR itself, or channel talkback, which will be the camera specifically talkback. And of course, a quick access button to the settings. The settings you already saw before. Okay, it will just quickly take us to that menu, instead of going to resource management and device management and all of those. So you can access it straight from here. On the bottom, we can see, of course, the different buttons to get a different layout. Okay, you can choose, let's say, a special layout for 13. And of course, whenever you have the chosen cameras that you want, you can always save it. Okay, let's save it view and let's call it save number 1, for example. I press OK. This is the name of it right now. Now, whenever we want, we can access that same view that we have chosen on the bottom left. Right here, we have view. Those are the views that we are saving. So save number 1, this is the save we just saved. Double click, and we get exactly the same images that we saved before. Okay, more than that, when you have a VMS, you have a total control over the dry contacts. Okay, the alarm outputs basically that are on the NVR itself or on the cameras that are connected to that NVR. So just press on this button right here, which is, let me do it again. Just press on this button, which is manual alarm out, okay? you will be able to quickly see all of the alarm outputs that are connected to each and every one of these NVR. In this case, this NVR doesn't have any alarm outputs, but the cameras does. So we can see the alarm outputs of the cameras. So long story short, you can just open a door or activate a siren or do whatever the eye contact can do straight from the VMS, straight from your computer. Okay, audio broadcast. If you want to have control over your broadcast abilities, if you want to say something out loud to all of the speakers that are connected to all of your 100 cameras all at once, you can just do it straight from here. Just mark all of those, all of your devices. You can have 100 devices, not only 2 like I have. Of course, every device contains its own cameras. Every camera can have a microphone connected to it. Of course, if it has a speaker connected to it, if it has the audio output, and then you can just start broadcast, and everybody will hear what you say from your computer. Okay. I think we're. Let me see if I forget anything here. By the way, if you have any questions, please do ask on the chat. Let me have okay, see that you guys get answers already. Okay, perfect. Moving on to our next part. Okay, our next part is going to be the playback and the backup. So in playback and backup, of course, we have a lot of different options.
Sorry, David. Is there a chance
yes.
you can just say a few words about the EMAP monitoring?
Yeah, it's just wait, it's going to happen. It's on our it's on our way. Okay, so according to my schedule, it's gonna take like 10 minutes to go to the EMAP monitoring, but maybe it will take like 11 minutes. Okay, so playback and backup. In playback and backup, of course, we can see the videos that are recorded or on our NVR or on our storage server. In most cases, it will be our NVR unless we have a huge project. To choose between from where we are taking the recordings is that button on the bottom left. In most cases, you can just ignore it because the default, it will be from the network device, which is the NVR. How do we choose the NVR? Just like we did with the live view. As you see, the windows are very similar. We have the area. Once again, on the upper left, we have the plus that will show us all of the cameras. By the way, we can see the name of the NVR, which is NVR Israel, and we can see the name of the camera, which is connected to it. Okay, so we can see the names of the camera, second floor, back counting, back DDA. Okay, we can understand the consistency here. Okay, so we want to see some videos. Just press the search button, and immediately our window will be filled with a lot of monitoring. Okay, what we can see here on the bottom is a bar filled with colors. Every color means a different recording. So if we have the color of, let's say, blue, it means it's scheduled. Okay, schedule, it means that the camera is recording all the NVR is recording all the time, whether there is an event or not. Yellow for motion, okay, faces are in blue, and behavior analysis are in green. We also have the plate comparison. 1 second. Okay, we also have the ability to see some plates, and we're going to see it all in a second. Before that, I want to take you to the middle of the night. Okay, it's about 1 o'clock, about right here. Now let's zoom in into the bar. Take a look where the mark is showing right here on the bottom. We can see 2 greenish lines. Okay, they happen right before 1 o'clock a.m. Okay, in the morning. Now we're talking about window 3. It means that this is this window. We can see that it is highlighted in black. Window 3. I just full screen into that camera. Of course, I'm gonna make it mainstream. Now let's see what is going on exactly where we have the green bar, the green mark. So I'm going to skip forward into that green mark, and let's see what happens now. We can see here that there is some kind of a movement. If we wait a few seconds, we can see right now that there is a person that is walking. Okay, so basically our cameras can detect from quite a distance, as you can see, and tell us that there is not a motion, but a behavior analysis, which is the green mark. Okay, we can see that there is something special. It's not just any movement, it's a special movement. It's an object that got familiar. So it helps us to understand if there was a person or a vehicle in an hour that it's not supposed to be. And we can see a couple of these marks. And whenever I will skip from one mark to another, we're gonna see this person. I hope that you guys can see the video as fluent as I can, but whenever you skip to another part, okay, on the time, even if it's very late at night, we're gonna see exactly the same. We're gonna see a familiar object. Of course, we can do the search. Let's move a little bit in, okay, and we're gonna see the person. Right now, it's pretty far. We can see it moving. Now, of course, from the to begin with, you can already search. If you saw, I pressed here on the More button right here. We can just perform the search from the start using the event that we want to know. Okay, the event that we are searching for. So if we'll just mark behavior analysis, and we're gonna press the search button. Okay, we're gonna search the search button. Let's close all of the cameras and press the search button. Now we are going to see only recordings that have this green mark. So whenever we're for sure we are going to see a human or a vehicle or something that is a real object of some kind. Okay. Let me see if I'm not forgetting anything in this case. No, probably not. Okay, if you have any questions, please do ask. We can address that thing. One question that we get many different times is how can we do the synchronize playback? This is what I just did for default. But as you can see right here, we have a button, synced playback and unsynced playback. So whenever the sync playback is on, we're going to see all of the videos on the same hour. It depends on the hour that we chose on the bar down below. But if we unsync it, as I just did, okay, then we are going to get videos, okay, that are not I just took down all of the recordings, I think. Okay. Okay, search. Now we're gonna see recordings, but they're not going to be from the same time. We can choose each window, okay, separately according to the time that it has on the clock. Of course, I need to choose them in order to see the windows. Okay, you can see that it's slowly filling in with video channels. By the way, if you want to back up a video, just left click on the backup. Okay, choose the starting point, go to the ending point that you want, press on the scissors once again, and you will be able to download that exact part of the recording. You can do a simultaneous download for multiple channels, of course. If you want, I can talk about it more. Okay, our next part in the playback is the searching for a face. If you noticed, by the way, those of you who knows the VMS, this is probably new to you because this is those are new features that are about 4 days old. They can be downloaded. Just address it, and we will give you the download link. We have here 3 buttons, 3 menus. One is the playback that we just saw. Second one is the face. Now we're gonna see how to search for a face. Here we have a plus on the bottom. We can select an image. You can select it from your computer, or you can select it from the faces that the NVR already captured. By the way, our NVRs, the NVRs that has the letter F inside their model name, they have the ability for face recognition. So basically they have, they can save faces that the camera that support face detection. They deploy faces to these NVRs all the time. Long story short, the NVR has a huge flow of faces, which we can see right here. regardless if the faces are saved on the NVR or on the database of the NVR or not. We can see all of the faces. You can skip between the pages and just choose the face that you want. Let's choose Gustavo, for example. We press OK. The picture of Gustavo shows right here, and we press face search. Now, a magical thing is going to happen. We're going to get a straight live view for all of the events of the different cameras that Gustavo is appearing on. So I'll just divide it to 4. We can see Gustavo here and here and here. I hope you guys can see it very clearly and fast. Okay, this is just the quickest way possible to get tons of images that has Gustavo on them. Also in here, of course, you can choose an image and just quickly, you can just quickly pause it and go back a little bit if you want, of course, rewind it. You get to see if it's actually Gustavo. Let's see, let's wait. Take a look at the upper right picture. I think I rewind it quite a bit. Okay, we can see Gustavo once again. Okay, you got the idea. You search for a face, you press the face search button, and you automatically get all of the faces that were chosen by you. Okay, of course, you can do it from the computer or from the NVR. Just for a resemblance, I'm gonna do the same search for a different face. In this case, it's gonna be Tamar. And let's search for Tamar. And here we are. We can see right here. Okay, I hope you guys could see it. She passed really fast. Okay, and she's coming right over, and we can see her right here. Okay, exactly the same face. Okay, next thing that we are going to do is to show you the third way of search. Okay, the third method. The first one was a general playback, second one was a face search, and third one is going to be a vehicle. What is a vehicle? Vehicles. So our cameras can detect vehicles, and we have an LPR camera that can detect a license plate. So if I will just press the plate search button, okay, of course we need to provide a license plate. Let's all concentrate on this. I'm going to write the numbers of the license plate, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It means that I'm only searching for vehicles that has 1, 2, 3 on that order on the license plate. Okay, and now let's press plate search, and let's wait for it for a second, and we can see here. Okay, we can see here. This is the LPR camera that we have. Okay, I'm going to go back to this video. Okay, this one is kind of blurry. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, my bad. It was on substream. Of course, we're gonna see it blurry. Okay, take a look at this. This car here has, I hope you guys can see it very clearly. It is 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go to the next recording that we can see. Let's go in here. And this is the same vehicle actually. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, once again. By the way, take a look on the button. We have blue marks whenever a vehicle with the numbers 1, 2, 3 has been detected. Let's see if we have another vehicle also with 1, 2, 3. And look at that magic. Also, once again, 1, 2, 3. Of course, you can search also for full license plate, but how cool is it that you can even search for a part of that vehicle? Take a look at this. Also, 1, 2, 3. Okay, every license plate we have the 1, 2, 3 on it, and let's do it once again. Last time, it's very, very nice. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it depends on the combination that we have provided on the bottom left part. Of course, you can perform a search even for a period of more than 1 day. I believe you can search now only for 2 days. I'm sorry, it's for plate. For different searches, you can search for even a month. But for a plate, you can search for a plate even for an entire day, an entire day. Okay. Moving on to our next subject. Let's see the chat. I can see a lot of. Okay, I'm going to address it later on. Our next thing is to see a couple of more interesting things about the playback. We have the by time slice. Okay, the playback by time slice. By time slice is very simple. The thing about this one is that we are using our eyes to search for something big that happened on the scene, so we can detect the changes with our eyes very quickly. So if we want to find, if we know that something was stolen or broken or something was changed, and we don't have the time to start and searching for it, maybe it's not a vehicle or a human that you can use the DDA, maybe it's like a vase or something, then you can just go to the time slice search. I'm gonna do the example of the parking lot because it's the most clearest. We can see here a bunch of cars. By the way, I chose a camera on the beginning, and now I can see a lot of key pictures. Each pictures is a hour of the day. So we can see that I chose the 16th of March, which is today. We can see a lot of images from 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, and go on, until we reach 8 o'clock. On 8 o'clock, we have already 4 cars in here. We want to understand exactly when one of the cars arrived. Let's say that we want to know when the black car has arrived. So I'm gonna go into the 7 o'clock search. I'm gonna let the system do its trick. Every snapshot in this case is going to be of 5 minutes of that hour. So we chose 7 o'clock in the morning. Each snapshot is 5 minutes. And we can see immediately that the black car, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, we can see that it was here at 7:50, but wasn't here at 7:45. Okay, so let's quickly press on the 7:45. Now we can see a live video, and we can just play with it. We know that during those 5 minutes, the black car has arrived. And let's see. Okay, we can see it right here. I hope you guys can see it because it's maybe, oh, I zoomed in. As you can see, we can see the black car right there. It's parking, we can see it moving. So this is the way to figure out what was going on our channel really fast. Okay, this is a super fast way to search for things. Okay, our next way is to search by event. It's very similar to what we saw before. We're of course using the artificial intelligence abilities of our DVR, NVRs, and cameras, but in this case we're going to see it in a list kind of way instead of a live view, a live playback. So in this case, it gives us more organization to understand exactly when and what was happening. Of course, just like before, we just need to choose our area. By the way, you can choose 2 areas simultaneously, so you can search from multiple devices that are in different parts of the world. It's not a problem. So I'm going to choose only one because the cameras are duplicated. So we choose this NVR and just press the search button. I'm searching only for today from the 16th of March. Okay, so we see a lot of results. Okay, the results are sorted out by time. Okay, from the soonest to the latest, 11:36. This is just about now Israel time. And we can see that the results will keep on gathering. We can see about 1,331 different results. They are, and of course, much more than those, 4,000 already. All of those events are being taken from the NVR. You have the ability to play back each and every one of those. Now we can see that this is a motion. It's not very interesting because motion, it's motion. It happens all the time. We want to see the more interesting parts. So all you have to do, and this is what is so special about this search, by event search, you can perform a dynamic search. So if I will just take down the V button, right from now, from the motion detection, we are left with all of the other recordings. In this case, we have face events, okay? So let's just press the playback of the face event. Let's see. So this is a camera that can detect a face, and it detected this face right here. So we understand that we had a lot of face detection. Now, not only that you can, if I will take out the face event, we will be left with the sterile area, basically with all of the a behavior analysis, which includes sterile area, line crossing, etc., etc. Of course, we can see the playback, sterile area. We see this person. Okay, this is a PTZ that can detect persons. Okay, now the next thing is we can also get, if I'll take out the behavior analysis, we can see the plate comparison. We already saw it. We can see the video from the playback. Oh, okay, it takes the playback from a wrong location. You can also get, I wanted to show you the face event. Yes, face event, or maybe we already did it. Okay, from those events that you can see here, you can do a couple of things. First of all, you can back it up into your computer. Okay, now right now I already backed it up in a second into my computer this exact moment. And also you can back it up, if you will look right here, backup on device. What is a backup on device? Let's say that you have a client, your customer, and he's not really technical. He wants to download some videos, okay, some playbacks. He doesn't know how to do it. It's not a problem. You can do it for him. All he needs to do is to connect his USB stick into the NVR, and you go into the search. By the way, you can do it from here or from the search I'm going to show you in a minute. And also you can go to the, you can perform the backup on device. The backup will be backed in straight into the disk on key on your client's NVR. Okay, same as I'm doing right here, and I'm going to cancel it. Okay, never mind, it's finished. 91% on the remote device. Okay, now I promised I'm gonna go into the EMAP settings. So if there was a specific question, please do ask, because right now I'm going to show you how to set up a map, okay? So how do we set up a map? First of all, of course, I went into the home button. By the way, this is the home button, and we have the EMAP settings. How to set up a map? Super simple. We need to press on the create map button. Okay, we need to give our map a name. So let's search for a place. Really don't have an idea right now. Let's say Amsterdam. Okay, a map for Amsterdam, and of course we want to have Amsterdam. So on the location, okay, we are going to write down Amsterdam. We're gonna press location. We are automatically taken from Google Maps into Amsterdam. Now, wherever we are choosing on the bottom screen, right here, whenever the same place that we're going to choose, this is the place that is going to be on our actual map. Okay, so this is way number one to add a map. Another way is to add a picture map. So you can draw a map using your Paint or Photoshop, and you can upload it into your VMS. You will have this map on your VMS. What can we do from here? So let's take a look. We have Camp Nou, okay? This is the actual Camp Nou from Barcelona. We have a Google Map from Mexico, and we have Provision-ISR. If I will press Provision-ISR, we can see a small block. This is basically, if I zoom out, this is where we actually located here in Israel, in Kfar Saba. Under Provision-ISR, okay, we have another map, which is the office. In this case, I just uploaded a map of the office, okay, and we can see all of the cameras that are on the map itself. Okay, so of course we can also zoom in and zoom out from here. So this is just a combination between the Google map and the map that we are uploading from our computer. What can we do with those maps, you ask? Okay, we're going to do it right in a few seconds. Let me just have a glimpse on our chat to see if there is any question. Okay, I can see that Amnon is taking care of it. Okay, thank you, Amnon. Now we're going to go, don't worry, we haven't finished with the EMAP yet, okay? But in order to show you how it works, let's first go into the face recognition. So, by the way, we have here two arrows, in here and in here, that you can just skip between the pages. Our system have many pages. Of course, if you want to customize your layout, you can just press the functional selection button and you can start switching your own layout. Okay, you can remove and add columns as you wish. Where were we? Face recognition. Okay, so face recognition. Really shortly about the real-time view. Real-time view will show we have two columns. Okay, we have the face recognition on the upper right. This column will show us faces that are being detected, whether they are recognized or not recognized by the NVR, okay? And we are going to see results from all of the cameras that has ability to recognize a face. We can control the kind of detection we want. Either we want only recognized or not recognized by pressing the I button right here. Those pictures will just keep on pop no matter what camera. From all of the cameras, we don't have any control over that. We can see that the faces are keep on being detected. But here on the bottom, we have face detection result. Okay, this is actually a result of the cameras that we are going to place. Let me search for a camera. It will be depend on the cameras that are placed on the view. Okay, on the view that we are seeing right now. Now, I don't know if all of the cameras here have a face. This one for sure. This one also. Okay, those two. And whenever a face is going to be detected on those cameras that are on the screen, the result is going to appear on the bottom. So in this case, you can see, oh, I know that this face was detected on the camera that I chosen. You can choose up to 16 cameras to appear on this on that view. Of course, you can choose the mainstream or substream. It doesn't matter. Everything is recorded. Okay, enough said about the live view. Now we're going to go into the search by face. Now, of course, we can perform a search by face, but before that, we need a face to search for, right? So how can we choose for a face? We're going to go to the search right here. Search by face and search. So we're going to choose search for starters. In search, we just like before, we choose the area. Okay, we have an area, we have the NVR inside the area. We can choose how many areas we want. Just press plus. Don't need to choose each camera separately. It doesn't matter if you chose cameras that don't have face detection. They will just won't give us results. Choose from when until when you want to have the results. Let's search for a few days. Let's say from the 10th of March. And just press the search button. Immediately, we get all of the faces that has been detected. We have about 2,000, okay? 2,100 results of different faces. What can we do with those faces, you ask? Very good question. We can add a face to a database. Okay, the database is being controlled from the VMS and being synchronized to the NVR. One-way talk. It means that the NVR, if you add a face to the NVR, it's not going to synchronize into the VMS. This is for security reasons. So a total control over the NVR from the VMS. You can create a database. How many database? A lot of database. Why do we want a database? In order to differentiate between different kinds of people. We have employees, we have managers, we have laboratory workers, and we have criminals. We want to, divide between all of those to have different triggers. What else can we do from here? We can export. Okay, you can export the face. You can even export the entire, if you look here, export the entire page. Okay, the entire page you can export into your own, into a computer to have for later use. And of course, you can press the magnifier, which will take us automatically into search by face. So let's choose a face. Let's choose, I don't know, let's choose this one, for example. Okay. Okay, we press the magnifier. We have this face straight away, and we're taken to the search by NVR. Don't forget to mark again the NVR, and we press the search button. And in this case, we're going to see only results of that same person. Okay, we can control the similarity rate. 75% is our minimum requirement. We can see results of that same face over and over again. We have also the ability to see the playback. Okay. Everything we had before, we have here also. And what is very, very important, it is regarding the EMAP that we talked about before. Once you search for a specific face, you can press the EMAP track view, and you can see the entire course that this person was going through over the map. Okay, we took the cameras, we placed them on the map, and now we can see exactly when those faces what the course that those faces has taken over the map. So this is a bad example because this guy is not moving a lot, I guess. So let's try a different example. Okay, I'm gonna press the search button, and we are getting a new. Okay, this is a new. No, I chose different face this time. Okay, let's search for more days. Okay, maybe just a search from this day is not enough. And try client playback. I want to see a more reasonable course that this person was taking. So we can see that a lot of the capturing was happening on the main passage camera. Okay, we can see the results over there. Yeah, I'm not gonna rest until we get a face that is actually moving on. 1 second. Let's try Gila. Okay. 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 Oh, now we can see. So we have the course that this person was taking, started from the main passage, then from the front door face. Okay. Basically, wherever this person was walking to, you're gonna see the entire course. As long as the camera detected the face of that person, we can see the result also from for another camera, the face attendance camera. Okay, you can see also the direction where that camera has been going, that the person was going. Of course, this algorithm is keep on improving, so expect improvements up ahead. Okay. Our one before last thing that we're going to show now is regarding the alarm, the alert, the triggers more. What is a trigger? A trigger is an action that we initiate as a response to an event that happened. What is an event? Motion that was going on, a sterile area that was accessed, a line crossing that was crossed, phase that was detected, any event like this we can create a trigger. Okay, we can create some kind of an action that will happen as a response to that event. So let's see it. Where are we going to go to initiate some triggers? We're going to go here into the alarm center. In the alarm center, we can see a lot of different menus. Okay, we have the ability to have logs and all of kind of things, but we have the alarm linkage. Alarm linkage. In the alarm linkage, same as before, we're going to see to the left the areas. Okay, whenever we press an area, we're going to see the cameras associated to that area on the middle. And here on the top, we are going to see all of the possible events, okay, all of the possible events that we can have a trigger to, okay? Those can be events, can be a RAID fault, okay, no disk, net that was disconnected from an NVR, or of course, some more things that we know, like face detection, okay? Whenever a face has been detected, then we are going to see the event. Now I'm going to show you before I set it up. I only chose the event. I haven't set it up yet. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to go back into the live view. Okay, live view. And we're going to go into NVR Tech. It has one of the cameras. The camera is surprisingly next to me right now. Okay. Right now we can see the camera. The camera is picturing me. Perfect. Okay, now let's take it to the side. Okay, I have a bottle of water here also. Now, okay, now we're going to choose, remember the name of this camera. The name of the camera is right here. It's DI320IP MVF. I already set it up as on for alarm view. Alarm view, long story short, alarm view will show us a pop-up of the channels that we are choosing. So I'm going to choose to see what cameras. Let's see, let's minimize all of the areas. Let's take a couple of cameras from another NVR. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I want to see 4 cameras when my face or any face is being detected by this camera. Okay, so after choosing this those 4 cameras, I'm going to go into the schedule, which is the more important part. If you don't press the schedule, it's not gonna work. Okay, it's one of these cameras. Don't remember which one. Both of them are on. So this is this one. Now we want 4 cameras. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Turn it off. Okay, only this camera. This one is on. And let's choose 4 cameras as we did before. and we press the on button. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna go into the schedule, and we are on this line. So schedule 24/7. Of course, you can create a schedule of your own, so you can determine when that event is going to happen. I press the apply button. Okay. Now this camera is still open, but take a look. Whenever the camera is detecting a face, it's going to pop up those 4 cameras. So let's wait for it for a second. Let's hope there is not going to be a Murphy law. Okay, my face has been detected. As soon as my face was detected, we have a pop-up with all of the 4 cameras that we have chosen, including the reason face detection. On each and every one of the cameras, we have a face detection. This alarm view can be set for it will close automatically after the face is being done detected. Of course, you can also close it. Okay, you can also close it using the X button. I didn't press it, it closed alone. You can just wait and it closes. It is perfectly controllable, of course. So this is the trigger. So is the same way that I did the trigger for the face detection, I can do a trigger for many other different triggers, okay, for a sterile area or for line crossing or any other thing. I chose to show you the face detection because it's controllable. As you saw, I just control it right now. If I did the sterile area, maybe car wasn't passing in 2 minutes, and it's, we're not gonna wait for 2 minutes now. Our next and final demonstration for today is going to be the counting. We're going to be able to count some vehicles or human beings or bicycles. So how do we do it? I used, as you saw, the arrow once again to move to the other side of the menus, and I'm going to choose people counting. And you know what? Let me just close for a second our former windows, so we don't have a lot of windows opened. People counting. Okay, people counting. In people counting, you can get a real-time statistics out of the cameras that you already have on your VMS. By the way, the counting can work if the cameras are added directly into the VMS without the NVR. You can add the cameras through the NVR as well, but you're not going to get the counting information. Of course, this thing is going to change on the next firmwares. But in the meantime, if we want to have counting abilities from the VMS, and we want statistics and such, then we need to add the cameras directly into the VMS. As we can see here, those cameras, we have back counting, front counting, office DTA, street counting. Those cameras, we have only the name of it. Unlike if we will go into the live view, which we see the name of the camera is appearing only after the name of the NVR. Okay, so for people counting, we add the cameras directly. And in this case, I just pressed apply. Okay, I chose all of the cameras. We can see all of the data from the cameras. We can see it in numbers, how many people entered, how many people left. This is a live, this is a real-time statistic. It means that if someone will pass, we're going to see it updated real-time. We have a statistic. We have how many people are inside currently. We have graphs. You can choose between linear and graphical. Okay, we can see it in a form of a cake. We can open live view straight from the cake. It's a tasty cake. And you can see it in a form of a table, how many entered, how many exit. Okay, everything is also exportable. You can export it into an Excel file. Now, this is only for real time, things that are happening right now. You can do exactly the same using the statistics report, okay? You can do it, the same thing, just you can get, let's say, weekly report for, you can get a weekly report for a couple of weeks. You can choose a couple of weeks, okay? Press the search button, and you get a whole lot of different numbers. We're talking thousands right now, okay? So the information that was gathered from the camera is saved on the VMS, and this is actually what we can see right now. We can see a very complex, very informative graph, okay, with all of the humans that has entered, according to the time, okay? We have the same thing that we saw before, just with a lot of numbers, okay? We can see the dates. Actually, those dates are meaning, the meaning of these dates are the weeks. The 9th week of the year, the 10th week of the year, the 11th of the year. And the numbers, of course, enters, exits for each and every one of the cameras. You can export it into Excel as well. Okay, now this is nice and everything, but of course, this is not why we are here. We want to see how we can actually achieve something in our battle against the COVID-19. And of course, I'm talking about the occupancy control. So for that and many other reasons, we would, COVID-19 is only one of the reasons that we want to control population or maybe control a limitation of vehicles that are entering a parking lot or to a facility, you know, or people that are entering a nightclub even. You know, those places, 400 people allowed and no one else. Then, of course, one or two of those cameras can work that out. How do we do it? We are going into here, into occupancy control, okay? Pressing the plus. On the plus, we can just provide the name of the task. Let's give it a normal name. Okay, normal name. Now let's choose we can choose the cameras that are going to be the amount of cameras that we're going to take the information from. Of course, that the VMS can take the information from each camera separately and combine it into a mix of information. So this is how you can control how many people enter for a building, for example. If this building, for example, has 3 entrances, you will place 3 cameras, each camera for an entrance, and the VMS can do the calculation for the total of those people. All we do is to press that arrow. I'm going to press now the maximum threshold. Okay, let's say that we want to limit the amount of people for 50. I'm going to tell you, when I press OK, we will get an error message because we already have a task. I just did it for the example. So the channel corresponding task has already exists. Perfect. Now let's close it. So once we have a task, we're going to see something like this. Okay, this is the task that we are seeing. We can see that the vacancy, meaning how many people are allowed to enter into the facility. And we can see the occupancy, 63. 63 people are inside. And how many people can enter more? 137. So the total amount of people that were originally allowed to enter was 200. Okay, I just pressed the edit task. This is the same window that we saw before. We see 200. This is the number of people. You want to see a live view of this task going live? Then just press the preview button. We get a beautiful window. You can place it on wherever you want, of course, in order to see live the amount of people that are inside, how many people are allowed more to enter. And of course, let's go back for a second. I'm going to give this task a special name so we can remember it. So let's call it special name. I don't know if it will save it. Let's hope it will. Yes, it did. Special name, okay? Special name, this is the name of the task. Now we want to do something when that task is, is done. When those people have entered, then no one else can enter. So you guessed it, we are going to go back into the alarm center, into the alarm linkage like we did before. And on the event, we are going to choose, please wait while the red light on. This is our code basically for occupancy control, okay? Because of course, whenever people finished enter, usually we will place a red light on the outside of the facility in order to tell them, okay, hold it, do not enter. Or of course, you can activate a siren or lock a door using the dry contact or whatever. So how do we do it? When I chose this event type, I can see only one thing here, which is called special name. This is the task that we have created. So once this task is finished, okay, once all of the people are inside and no one else can enter, we can now perform any of the triggers that we saw before when I did the face detect, if you remember. So of course you can have an audio. It means that the VMS will sound, will give you a sound from the speakers. PTZ control, if you have a PTZ, you can create a specific preset. Let me see if I can demonstrate it for a second. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, so we can choose a preset. If you have more than one, of course, you can just choose from those presets. You can direct the camera directly to that entrance to the building where you have the task. 1 second. record. Now, events are recorded usually on the NVR, of course. This record only means if you want to record locally on your VMS, on your computer, or on the storage server if you have. Alarm view, okay, alarm view. What we did before with the pop-up, okay, to hurry to see a pop-up. Snapshot, alarm output. Alarm output, of course, you can deploy an alarm output that is connected to the camera that performs the tasking or to any other camera. This camera can activate an alarm output or it can activate anything else. Take a look at something special. We have two NVRs. Remember, we have NVR Israel, which doesn't have alarm output. So we can see only the outputs which are a part of the cameras, okay? But on another NVR right here, we have an NVR that does have alarm output. So we can see second floor, which is a camera, but we can see alarm out 3, alarm out 4. Okay, this NVR does have alarm outputs. So you can also control the alarm outputs, which are a part of the NVR or a part of the camera. Of course, in order to activate them, just choose them, push them aside, press the on button, and give them schedule as we did before. A couple of more things that we can do. Voice broadcast. Voice broadcast, you can upload an audio file to the VMS itself, and you can play it from the NVR itself. Okay, those are the sounds that I already uploaded into the VMS. Please hold, okay, and just a generic guitar sound just for the test. Of course, you have the TV wall. TV wall was more for decoders. Of course, we can talk about it a lot more, but this is not the platform. Trigger email, this is something new. Most of you don't know it because it's very, very new. We have the ability now to send an email through the VMS. SOP, standard of operation. Of course, if there is a fire or need something to call the police, you can create a presets of tasks to be performed by the operator. Once this once this event has happened, this operator will know that now this is the list of tasks he has to do. Okay, pick up the phone. This is task number 1. Dial 911. This is task number 2. You know, something that will help him to do it. Schedule. We already talked about it. Really, second important thing out of the triggers is the schedule. Do not forget it, because then you can activate the task. By the way, I didn't plan to talk about it. Schedule setting. This is where we actually create a schedule. Okay, we saw those other two, 24/7 and 5 days a week. And of course, you can create any schedule that you want, okay, for working hours. And you can give it a name. And okay, now we have another schedule. This is just for fun, just the name, okay? Don't pay attention to it, but after you have this schedule, you can, of course, activate your triggers on your chosen time. Okay, this is the end of today's webinar. I hope you guys all...
Just, David, can you go over those models that we see? Can you go over those models that we see here, just in few words, what each module is? Account and permission, TV wall management.
The module here?
Just 2-3 words.
Okay, okay. Live view is the live view that we saw. Alarm view is the pop-up window. Okay, this is the pop-up window that we show. We can initiate it on purpose. As EMAP monitoring is to see the map, not for settings, but to see the map. Also, you can see the cameras that have motion. You can also filter the alarm type. Okay, the alarm that you want to see. If you want only to see cameras that have, let's say, analytics, people counting, sterile area, crossing, all of those, press OK. Then only the cameras that has this specific analytic will pop. Okay, both pop meaning that they will show us the video right here. If I press clear all. Okay, close all streams. Now, whenever there is an analytic, we're going to see this specific analytic, of course. Okay, you can choose exactly what you want to see using the filter alarm type. Playback and backup, all of the playback methods we discussed. EMAP settings, we've been there, how to set up a map. TV volume management, this is where we actually create a decoder. We can plan a decoder. Decoder is a device that allows us to show up to 144 video channels simultaneously. This is usually the device that you guys see when you see the movies with the big control room, okay, that controls the highway or a big facility. So this is usually the device. Why to use the device? It saves CPU power, okay. In order to decode the video is very difficult task. If you place a decoder, you take a lot of the CPU usage from your PC, from your computer or your management server. So in this case, you have a lot of more resources to address the important tasks. So this is the TV wall management. Resource management is where we add everything. Okay, this is where we can add a device. As I said before, you can add a device using the quick add. Okay, quick add is the VMS can detect all of the devices on your LAN. Manually add, you can add a device via its IP address, remote or local, via IP range, domain name, serial number, which is of course the P2P. A URL, it's a domain name is a DDNS, and URL, which is RTSP. For a protocol, you can add, since we have integration, you can add cameras also that are belonging to Hikvision, Daho, or OnVIF. Okay, and of course, we provide a port, username, and password, and all of those. Okay, this is long story short. People management, this is where we add and we create databases. Remember, we talked about the databases for faces. So this is where we actually create those databases. Okay, we can create the database straight from here and synchronize it into the NVR using this button right here. We can just sync the database into the NVR. How to add a face? We can just create a database, we choose the database, those are the faces that are currently on it, and we can sync it into the NVR and we can add faces to it, remove faces to it. Let's remove a face, for example, and we can see that it is synchronized. You can also see the sync records, okay? In the device, we can see that this device doesn't have any persons, and this device only have 4 persons because we took one out. Okay, this is for another webinar, I think. Account and permission, the VMS itself is a management software. It means that right now I am connected as an administrator, but we don't want to allow everyone to connect as admins, right? So you can create a different permission group, okay? That this permission group will only have specific permissions to do, whether it is to watch a live preview or recording or playback or all of those. And of course, some abilities to perform analytics, all of the things that we can see here, okay? And of course, later on, the user, when it connects to the system remotely from his VMS, is going to connect through his user, so he's not be able to, let's say, go to the resource management, to the device settings, and start manipulating our cameras, right? We don't want to have him to have all of these abilities. Alarm center, we discussed about it. This is the trigger part. LPR monitoring, if you want to, those are basic controls for the LPR, for recognizing plates. Of course, we have the shop system, which is much more efficient in this area. It's also provide a more complete solution for access control and much more. Face recognition, we've been there, okay, how to search for a face. Face greeting, if you want to greet someone, so you can connect another monitor into your computer, and using those ability, okay, not sure I can do it now. Let's, no, I cannot do it now. You need another monitor in order to do it. You can control it whenever somebody is coming, like your VIP client, then another monitor, an external monitor, will pop up his video or image, and it can says, welcome, Johnny. In case your VIP client name is Johnny, it says, welcome, Johnny, or you can actually control what is going to say right here. Welcome voice per play order, welcome voice plus guest name. Okay, of course, you can greeting language, you can decide, you can provide a different wording, and the VMS has a voice engine, so you can actually control what the VMS is going to say. Okay. Also for birthday greeting, okay, you can provide different birthday for the clients, and on their birthday, the VMS is automatically going to pop up a message once they are there. Face attendance is another attendance control for based on face detection or face recognition, more accurately. People counting, what we did with the people counting, with the heat analysis, and how to the occupancy control, how to control the amount of people entering to a certain location. Operation and maintenance, this is just a quick overview over our system. Okay, you can see the server status with all of the different parts that מרכיבים, that make this whole system. Okay, the VMS is made out of many different parts: alarm server, analytic server, media transfer server, storage server. Okay, usually those things will be, if you install it on your computer, they will be installed on the computer. If you have a professional enterprise VMS, then you can use separated hardware in order to have much better performance. So here you can see all of the parameters regarding it. Okay, storage server, encoding device, you can see all of those. Status, of course, you can see the status for the VMS with all of the cameras. Where was I? Temperature measurement, this is the easy check. Okay, we have the unit for measuring temperature. If you go to the temperature measurement, you can see many different things. We're gonna have a different webinar regarding the easy check alone, so don't worry. And local configuration, this is where you can control, for example, the alarm view that I did talk before. Okay, you can schedule how much time the alarm view is going to remain open once opened. You can control on which display it's going to appear. I cannot choose now because I have only one display. But if you connect another display, you can control where that alarm view is going to go to. On record, you can control the path where to save recordings, manually recording, of course. And of course, you can choose the format, MP4, DAT, or AVI. I'm gonna switch to MP4. Okay. Overload setting. Okay, you can, if you open 36 video channels on your monitor. By the way, you can open up to 100 on a PC. Of course, it needs to be a supercomputer in order to do it. But you get a warning, okay? And you can choose on which percentage you're gonna get this warning. In audio uploading, this is where I uploaded, okay, the voices. Remember we talked about the uploads, and this is where you can upload it. Those are the requirements for a file, format, and mono, and all of those. And of course, the functional selection, which we addressed before, regarding to what you want to see on your main window, okay, on the main interface. If we don't want to see all of the less interesting things, I'm just, in purpose, I'm gonna take all of those out. I press OK, confirm saving, yes, no, don't save you. We're left with 4. Okay, now we really narrow down the amount of windows we have. By the way, if you're missing a window, most likely that it is not marked here. Okay, I think we've done
Thank you.
overviewing those.
Thank you, David. I'm going to share my screen as well, just for 1 second, just before we give you the ability to ask questions. First of all, thank you very much, David. For those of you that ask me, you can see my screen, right, David? For those of you that asking about more information about the VMS, so we suggest to go to our website, Provision-ISR.com, software, Ossia VMS. Once you click it, you can find all the information you are looking for about the VMS. First of all, the differences between standard version to enterprise version, all the main features you can find on the VMS. Some dedicated features that we decided to put some focus on, such as the people counting, all the dedicated hardware that David was mentioning in a nutshell, but we have full line of dedicated hardware, such as management server, transfer servers, decoders, storage servers, keyboards, anything you need to accommodate any scale of projects. And of course, you can download any kind of document that you need, whether it's a technical data sheet or a leaflet about the product or the versions and the manuals and everything you can imagine. Other than that, first of all, David, thank you very much for today. We are going to have time now for any one of you that need to ask any kind of questions by opening your microphone or just by asking the chat. I tried to answer most of the questions. David, if you do see some questions that people send you privately, that is the time to answer them. I remind you that this webinar was being recorded, so you will get the recording of it. Again, there is another seminar such as this later on this afternoon, in about 4 hours from now. You're welcome to join or invite anyone else that you think is worth inviting. Other than that, thank you very much for joining us today. We are going to be here for the next 20 minutes. Thank you very much.
If there are any questions, you're more than welcome to open up your mic and ask, or here, or on the chat.
David, you were so informative and well explained it. I'm very happy to see that there were not a lot of questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Benjamin.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. You see, we don't have many questions, which all of them we already answered. So thank you very much for joining. See you next time.
See you guys. Have a good day.